Okay.
Ready? Good morning and evening and afternoon to everyone. I'm very excited to have with us today Marco Gonzalez from Cochise Marble. He is also our neighbor at Diamond Mountain, and I've been to visit the quarry a few times. I also took Geshe Michael, who is here tonight. They're with Veronica and some of the Diamond Mountain staff, and it is a really, really exciting quarry with lots of different types of special marble that you can only find there. And so we're very excited to have Marco with us tonight, and he is going to tell us a little bit more about the quarry, about the marble, and we'll talk a little bit about what the stupas might look like. We're still busy with the design, but it's an exciting first glimpse at what might be to come. So Marco, welcome to the talk tonight. I hope that you're going to have fun telling us all about the marble. I know that you're very passionate about it and that you have great stories to tell. So please go ahead and start. If you wanted to share something more about yourself, please feel free to do that. And then we can get going.
Well, thank you, Holly. It's very exciting to be a part of this presentation, Extracting the Magic Marble. I have been in this industry for over 30 years, the natural stone industry. We form a team. It is quite an extensive team with a lot of resources in order for us to extract the magic marble and process the marble. And there are several steps. As you mentioned, design is where we start with these projects, and working with the architects, the engineers, then we take over, and I will explain the process as we're going through this presentation of how we take the material, the raw material, and turn it into a finished product. So first, I would like to thank Hanli Sunam. You've been wonderful working with us and guiding us through the process. This is a big project. We like to call projects like this a showcase because it is one of a kind. And it's a multi-year project. We're expecting it to be about a 3-year project. And fortunately, we have experience in large projects, and I'll also show that in a presentation. What we consider a large project, it's usually a 3 to 5 year project. And it can be an outdoor project. It can be a project where we're supplying a high-rise building. We've supplied some of the larger buildings in North America and also some in Europe. And it's quite a process. And working, as I said, with the architects and engineers, also you form quite a team. And it's, the meetings, we just started our first meeting. So I'll take a little pause, Sanam, let me know so the translators can.
Just once in a while, a breath between the sentences.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
So Cochise Marble was formed to explore and extract some of the most beautiful marbles that are found in the world. It is one of 5 certified marble quarries in America. It's an extensive process for us to receive the certification, and it's a government certification. We have this certification, and although there are hundreds of quarries, we're one of only 5 that are certified. And as I mentioned, we have a team that's very diversified, and we're primarily located in the United States, Asia, and Europe. If I was to total up the main team, we have well over a century of experience quarrying the marble and other stones, fabrication, supply chain, which is extremely important, especially in the current environment that we're in, both domestic and international, plus construction. So our goals and objectives are that we always provide a complete solution to projects. We work hand in hand with our customers. And we don't call them customers, we actually call them strategic partners. And we like to work with them because it is very strategic as we're working through these projects. So with that said, it's challenges. In this case, I'll use an example here, but the sites for the stupa, the temple, the meditation chamber will present many challenges because of the topography. Now, it just approximately a week ago, Han Lee and Matt Klump, who I'll speak a little more about it in a moment, they hiked the mountain from the very top to the bottom, spent extensive time looking at access roads, trails, and really developing access to visitors that will be able to visit every point or every site from the bottom or other access trails from the top. So that in itself will be a process, working with the architects and also the engineers, because the engineers, they will be working with us to pour the concrete and set up the stupas along with the other items that will be going up. But what really becomes a priority for us is to bring the mountain back to its natural landscape and meet all the environmental objectives. That's very, very important. It's, as we all use the term, reclaim the mountain. So we will be going into the mountain with heavy equipment, but when it's all completed, we will be reclaiming the mountain back to its natural landscape, allowing access to all parts of the mountain, all the sites. Now, the team that we have, and I'm just using names because everyone here plays a very, very important part. Matt Klump, his family has been out there now 5 generations, and I'll speak a little more about him later on in the presentation, but very instrumental. Josh Gonzalez, he is involved in the operational side of the quarry. Jeff Jonas, who I've been in business with for over 30 years, and we've taken on some of the biggest projects. David, who is from Portugal. We brought in the best quarriers. He's considered a master quarrier in the world. There's only a handful in the world. He came in from Portugal. And João Paulo, which he's worked with us for many years on the fabrication. And of course, myself. That will be our team. Now, as I said, we also just started communicating with Line and Space, the architectural team, and it's we will continue the dialogue with the Line and Space. It'll be very exciting because again, it's the design, the plans, all the small details that will allow us to build, the stupas, the temple, the meditation chamber, even the steps. That will be quite a process to go through that.
Marco, just a tiny bit slower. I know you're getting excited. I can hear it. So a tiny bit slower for the translators, please.
Are the translators caught up with me, or should I take a little pause?
Just give them a small pause, and then slightly slower would be great. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, now, as Han Lee mentioned earlier, the proximity or the distance between the quarry and the Diamond Mountain Retreat Center by air, we're 3 miles apart. They can probably, and I'm sure at times, hear our equipment, and we can climb to the highest mountain, which you'll see in the video, and we can look towards Diamond Mountain. So we're that close. But driving, it's 15 miles or roughly 24 kilometers. The quarry, we're located in southeast Arizona, near the near the New Mexico border. The elevation of our quarry is approximately 6,000 feet in elevation, or 2,000 meters. The beauty of this quarry is that it's very remote. there are a few farms, as you can see on the map there. The farms, they're pistachio, pecans, other types of fruit farms. But for the most part, we're very, very remote in the mountains. And really, the only surrounding we have is just a lot of wildlife. We'll move to the next slide. Now, the interesting part, really the intriguing part of this of the area that we're in is that it's rich with Native American history surrounding the quarry, which, by the way, we've named many of our marbles with Native American names like Apache, Geronimo, and these are tribes, Apache tribes. Now, Geronimo was a chief and actually fought one of his last battles right over the mountain from the quarry. One of the visits, as Hanley mentioned earlier, I pointed which direction where that battle was fought, but it's very rich. You know, the Western, the Wild West, which was Arizona, played a major part in this history. Also, where the site where the stupas will be going, the first stupa is actually just past an Apache sacred ground that we will be working around and preserving it. But again, the Native American names, we use those names as an honor to the Native American people. And as you can see on the map, those are all counties, but most of those are names, Native American names that are very, very common in the state of Arizona. Now the lower photo, that's actually Chiricahua. It's a mountain, also a tribe out there, but it's called the Chiricahua Mountain. Okay, all right, now to the history of the quarry. The quarry was established in 1908. It was in full production in 1909. If you look at the photos, these were archived from Cochise County. You can see on the left photo the tents, how the miners lived. And it was quite interesting. You see a few buildings, but mainly tents, and there were 3 or 4 miners in each tent. Now, quite interesting is that back then, they didn't have the technology or the equipment that we use today. And most of the equipment that they used were steam engines. So my understanding is there was one crew just to chop wood so the steam engines could run. But the end result, if you see the photo on the right-hand side, that was 1909. It was in full production. That the beautiful white marbles we know today, called Cochise white, they produced the same blocks that we're producing today out of the same quarry. Now, at that time, early in the 20th century, Arizona was a top 5 producer of architectural marble in the United States. The quarry supplied this high-grade marble to multiple cities throughout the country, most of that were shipped by railroad. Now, little more on the history. The Klump family, Matt Klump, as I mentioned earlier, they purchased this quarry in 2002 from a family, I think, if I remember correctly, in Texas. And it sat from approximately 1937 until 2002, where it was not touched. So in 1937, we'll say, call them the old timers, the original miners, ended their production. And quite interesting, back then, there were roughly 20 miners. Today, we have 5, using, as I mentioned, advanced equipment. Now, if you back to the photo on the left-hand side, that entire mountain is marble. And I'll explain a little bit more how we're going to access that marble. Now we're going to the history of the quarry. As I mentioned, in 2002, that's when the Clump family purchased this quarry, which is a patented mining claim. And we in a few years back launched a program, or like I said, an exploration to take out marble that will be used both domestic and international. Now the photos that you're seeing, the quarry was approximately 150 feet, 50 meters to the bottom, and it looked exactly
Dacă
like
vă uitați, peretele este de
in 1937. The photo on the lower right was the first week that we started the operation. And you will see other photos how we progressed through this operation and how now we're removing blocks weekly from this quarry. I'm going to show a short video. It's approximately 35 or 40 seconds long, and it will show you the 3 parts of the quarry, which I'll discuss later, and how we're working into different sections of the quarry. So this is the old quarry, the very bottom. This is where the white marble comes from, the caviar, the Apache. That's the mountain that is full with marble. This marble here is next level up. It's called the Monsoon. That's the very top of the quarry. And now we're going to drop back down. You can see some of our equipment that is used daily at the quarry. And this, again, this is a vertical view of the very, very bottom of the quarry. That's where we're currently working today. I'm going to move down to the next slide if it lets me. So now comes the extraction of this magic marble. The photo on the left is Gesh Michael and Veronica. Them, along with Han Lee and a few others, visited our quarry in December. And as you can tell, they're wearing jackets because we do get some snow at that quarry, but we didn't have any snow. I think there might have been some ice on the ground, but we are able to work this quarry 12 months out of the year. Now, the other photo is my son, and his name is Garrett. He went out to the quarry with me. He's 6'4" tall, approximately 193 centimeters. And that wall sitting behind him, we had just dropped that wall within the week before, and it weighed approximately 400,000 pounds, or if we were to put it in kilograms, about 150,000 roughly kilograms is what it weighed. So those are the walls. When we drop a wall, which takes days and sometimes weeks to cut, the average wall size varies between 200,000 and 600,000 pounds, or 90,000 to 270,000 kilograms, which we then convert the walls into blocks that you will see later, and the blocks will vary in size from 5,000 to 50,000 pounds, or 2,200 to 22,000 kilograms. So we're working with heavy equipment, heavy material. And the photo of Gesh Michael and Veronica, that's one of our levels in the quarry, and you can see the walls behind them. As a matter of fact, if you look just to the right, you will see a vertical cut, and there's another one behind them at the bottom horizontal. That wall at some point will be coming down, and that's also, as you can see, it's a beautiful marble of white and gray marble.
Marco, just slow down a tiny bit for us, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, this slide is really interesting in that to cut marble or other natural stones, in this quarry, we use a diamond wire machine. And that truly has diamonds. The wire has diamonds, and we bring in the wire from either Europe or China. with diamond bits. Also, on the right side, the drills, this is how we start the process before the diamond wire machine starts cutting. We drill. So we have different machines that we use for drilling. This one is horizontal. We have another machine that we use for vertical cut or drills. And then the men that work there, they run the wire through these holes. And it's quite interesting. It's an art to watch them line up these holes and then run the diamond wire to cut the stone. As it turns out, the stone on the left, that's a dark caviar, and that is a very, very dense, very thick stone or hard stone to cut. So it takes many more days than some of the lighter stones that we cut. Now here, this photo, the extraction of the magic marble. These are very interesting photos. I'll start with the lower right. That is also Gesh Michael, Veronica, Hun Lee, and they're looking down at the quarry. Now the different types of quarries that I've mentioned in the world for marble are really two. You have what this quarry is referred to as an open negative quarry. And the reason that we call it a negative quarry is that we're working down. Our goal over many years, we will drill down approximately 250 meters. The other quarry in the world that you'll find for marble are called gallery quarries. Now those quarries go into the mountain. They're faster, a lot costlier, but the mountain that you see to the left-hand side, lower left, we are working our way into that mountain with this open quarry. Or a gallery quarry, you would open the mountain and go straight in. As I said, it's faster, but the cost, and also you leave many parts of the mountain, the marble in the mountain, that you'll never extract. It's beautiful. You go into a gallery quarry and they're beautiful, but you're limited on the marble that you take out. Or with us, as you can see in the photo, we have the benches, the walls, the benches, the walls, and it's just a process. You keep working back, you keep working back. Now, the photo in the upper left-hand corner, that's stone, that marble is called an ash. It's a white and gray marble. It's a beautiful marble. And you can see, compared to a man standing, the size of those blocks. Those are big blocks, probably in pounds, weighing between 50 and 100,000 pounds. The photo in the upper right-hand corner is the monsoon. Now, the monsoon is a very interesting name in Arizona. And the monsoon is a storm that we will see in the summer, usually delivers a lot of rain, lightning, and thunder. That stone has a blue color and white veins that you'll see a little later in the photo. And that veining it looks like lightning. So it's a beautiful natural stone that those walls up to the right, that if we do produce one of the stupas from that stone, it's gorgeous. All the stones are beautiful, but that one right there is one of, well, they're all my favorite, but it is definitely one of my favorites just because of the color. Now, just pausing a little bit here, let them catch up. Now, the caterpillars that you see on the left-hand side, those are called excavators. And they have multiple uses for us. We dig with those, we lift with them, and we also crush the marble. Those are used extensively every day in a very, very important part of this quarry as we're working into the quarry. There's I will explain some of the equipment that we use, but most quarries in the world, you will see similar equipment. This photo, oops, let me go back up. This photo shows our team. As I mentioned, there's 5 men at the quarry doing the job of, back in the early 1900s, took at minimum 20, maybe 25 men. And that grabber at the end of the caterpillar here, what it does is that is used to pull the walls down. We're limited on the height of the walls, but with this machine, we can either pull the walls down with it or go above it and push the wall. And quite interesting is that when I said those are the tonnage that these walls weigh, we use water bags that are put between the wall that's been cut and the back of the wall, and that water bladder pushes the wall along with this machine and takes the wall down. And it's like an earthquake when it hits. It's an experience. For safety, everyone has to stay very, very far, but you will feel the ground shake like an earthquake when you're dropping these large walls. And these are the men that work there every day, removing the walls, cutting the blocks. Now, what is marble? Marble is a metaphoric rock that forms when limestone is subject to high heat and high pressure, which creates a metaphorism. So it's a marble, it's a stone that's been created over millenniums, thousands and thousands of years. And again, it's the ground shifting, but it is a limestone that is subject to high heat and high pressures. Now, what's interesting about the marble, it is admired by artists, it is admired by the architectural community. It is also said to promote peak states of meditation and support the perfect recall of dreams. And this has been noted by many individuals. Also provides both clarity and states of suspension and awe. So I did some research, a lot of research, and it's amazing how many authors, artists, people in the world validated, confirmed that it releases an energy that that are felt by many in the world when you're cutting. And again, many artists, that energy is what gives them the creativity for design. Now, a couple things to notice, because I am pointing out the equipment to you. The 2 pieces of equipment in the back there, the first one being the excavator, the piece that you see on the front there, that's called a crusher. So we are very environmentally sound at the quarry. Many quarries in the world only remove the blocks. We remove every part of that quarry, from the blocks down to the aggregates. Now that crusher, what it does is it crushes the stone, so we can ship it off the mountain, and down at the bottom we have a gravel pit where we convert it into gravel, which I'll show you later. The next piece of equipment behind it that's also another Caterpillar piece of equipment, and it has the capability of lifting 40,000 pounds or 20 tons of weight. And it's required, as I mentioned earlier, the weight of some of these blocks, that's the machine that lifts them and sets them down on the trucks to remove off the mountain. Now, quite interesting, at the turn of the century, they were actually removing blocks on the same road off the mountain that were 60 tons. Today, because of safety and government regulations, the blocks that we remove off the mountain are approximately 20 tons. but that's what that machine is used for, to lift the blocks. Now we get to the fun side of it, the types of marble that come out of this quarry. And quite interesting is that every block is categorized. It's categorized by the color, the size, the weights, and it's a block classification that takes many years of experience for the men working at the quarry. And really, it's the gentleman from Europe and there's a gentleman there that will classify it. And the classifications that we use are either book matched or uniform. Now, if the veins run horizontal, and it becomes the most common cut of natural stone, it's called uniform. If we match the blocks or the slabs, then it's called book matched. It also used on multiple projects. You'll see it on large projects. But again, the value of the block is both by the buyer and the seller. It's in the eye of the buyer and what they are looking for. Now, the blocks that we have, the top left caviar, that is our signature stone of this quarry. You will not find that stone at any other quarry in the world. It is David, who I mentioned earlier, is a master quarrier. He owns quarries in Europe, in Africa, South America, and he said that right there, he calls it pan, in Spanish, bread. He goes, that is one of the most beautiful stones, and you will not find it anywhere in the world. The next one over, the monsoon, that's the one that I mentioned earlier on the face that you were able to see on the video. Then the desert rose, which gives the pink rose hues with the white background. The most common stone that we have is Apache, and that's top right. And again, that's to honor the Apache tribe. So it's a wonderful name that we've used, and it's primarily white and gray, but you do see some hues of gold in it occasionally. But again, as you can see in that block, it's primarily white and gray. You drop to the lower left-hand side, and that is our dark caviar. And you saw the diamond wire machine cutting that a little earlier, and that's the wall that came, or excuse me, the block that came down. Then the Geronimo in the middle bottom, that is found on the backside of our quarry towards Diamond Mountain. So that's another part of the quarry that has that stone, and it's also another stone that is only found in this world. There's only one other similar stone in Turkey, but it does not have white and black or white and gray veining like this one. That one has a lilac veining. So that this is another signature stone of this quarry. And then we have the Cochise white, the lower right. That's a very, very select stone. And that was the basis of us going into this quarry, was the white stones that are ageless and have been used for centuries and hundreds, and I would say thousands of years. You go back thousands of years that the white marbles were used for art and architecture. Now we get into dimension and crushed stones. Dimensional stones is a term that's used in our industry, and it has multiple applications. The slab on the left-hand side, that is the Geronimo. As I mentioned, it has a beautiful stark white background with black veining, and it can be cut into multiple sizes, multiple applications. It's used for commercial, residential, outdoor, art, memorials, and just it has spiritual applications and just multiple uses around the world. But it's one of the stunning, like I said, beautiful stones that comes out of this quarry. It again, dimensional stones is that's when we work with the architects. We cut the projects. We'll prefabricate the projects in advance into, it could be exterior cladding, it could be balustrades, columns, all architecture. We can produce all architectural products. And in this case, the stupas, the temple, the meditation chamber, those will all be prefabricated. And this is a starting point for us. But also on the right-hand side are the crushed stones. As I mentioned at the top, we ship those down to the bottom. And what we do is we crush the stones. The lower photo is our white marble. The top one is our gray marble, which we name titanium. It's a very, very dense stone. Now, quite interesting, our white marble, and through chemical analysis, has a calcium carbonate level of 99.9%. What is that? What that means is that it can be used in multiple applications, from landscape to architecture, agriculture, all the way to pharmaceutical. So we sell the stone to companies. There's one company in Mesa, Arizona that will convert it and use it for paints and roofing materials. So it has multiple applications. If we were to or go through the certification process, it would be used for pharmaceutical. Okay, now, all right, now comes transforming the stone. Let me just take a drink of water here. Transforming the stone for us, on the left side, those are items that can be used as veneer or steps. So it's our Apache stone that has been cut for a project. And in this case, it was going to be used for exterior application, veneer. But quite interesting, the photos on the right side, those are exterior pavers. And those pavers, the way we process them, have a non-slip surface. So they can be used around swimming pools, wet areas. But we're able to take that stone, the Apache, and as you can see the bottom photo, it's a natural look with the non-slip surface. The top photo, we sandblasted the same stone and we made it almost a pure white stone, beautiful white marble, just with the sandblast application. So with that said, it's endless, the number of applications that we have with stone, the number of projects that we can supply with natural stone. We're limited only in the size of the stone, but with all the technology today, even the size of the stone, we can create objects that are much, much bigger, just because of how we can mold the stone together. And I'll use the stupa as an example, and create any size, any height, any size stupa that you desire to order from us. I mentioned fabrication earlier, and as you can see, the fabrication, we use diamonds every step of the way, cutting the stone. And one of the photos here, it shows a multi-wire diamond saw. What that diamond wire saw does, it's a multi-wire saw, we can adjust the width of the cut, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and it'll cut how it's adjusted. And it's water, and then the diamonds, which do wear out over time, and it just cuts right through it. I'd like to say it cuts like butter, but it doesn't. It takes time, but eventually you can cut it into slabs, or you can cut it into pieces that will be transformed into a finished product. Now, the stones here, it's quite unique what we're looking at here. The top left, again, that's the monsoon. The top right, that's our Apache Select. And that one right there was in high demand because of the white and gray colors. The photo on the center left, that's the Apache being cut. The one on the right is a black stone that came out of our quarry. But the bottom left-hand corner is what I refer to as the book match. That's our caviar. And you can see those slabs in feet are approximately 10 feet by 6 feet each, or 200 by 300 centimeters. As I mentioned, we have supplied some of the largest projects in North America. The lower right-hand photo is the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, approximately 4,000 rooms. And that was an interesting project around 1999, 2000. And that project, we prefabricated every room overseas. It was like a Lego set. So all the pieces were numbered. When that project came in, or the product came in, they would open the container, it would have a room number, and all those crates would go to that room. Then the installers would install it piece by piece. No different than how we're going to work at Diamond Mountain building. So that project for us was a multi-year project. And it was, as I mentioned, multiple steps. I mean, it was multiple levels. I don't know the height of the building, but it was approximately 4,000 rooms. And the swimming pool around outside of the hotel, we supplied approximately 50,000 square feet of that decking that you saw earlier in a similar color with the non-slip surface, which the Diamond Mountain project will have many, many steps going up. And that's what we will focus, making sure that it has that non-slip surface and that they will be put in place and will be ageless. Now, one thing also to mention about this quarry is that we have blocks, and I missed it earlier, one of the first photos. There are blocks still sitting there from over 100 years ago that we still have cut. So these are the material. We have a very high quality, very dense marble out of this quarry that will last for centuries. Very little maintenance. And you will see the beauty that as it ages over years, it becomes more and more beautiful. It's a beauty. It's marble. There is no other stone in the world that can replicate a marble, but it will be on the mountains for centuries. Now, visualizing the future. This is, we did this, it's a CAD drawing or rendering, and it was using our Apache stone just to show a stupa. But again, this is for us. This is the magic behind the marble. This is our Apache stone. And this is a starting point for us, for Diamond Mountain, and everyone involved to see the concept of what we can build. Then comes the architects, the drawings, and from there we take it and manufacture the stupas. My understanding, the first one will be the Apache stone. So this gives a very good visual of what that first stupa will look like, the stone part of the stone part of it. And then you can see some architectural renderings in the background that we will be working. Those are preliminary, but eventually we'll be working with all the fine details. That's my presentation. Now I'll leave it to questions. I hope it wasn't too fast, but everyone was able to understand what it takes.
Awesome, Marco. Thank you. I've seen this presentation several times, and every time I'm totally fascinated, and it brings a great smile to my face. It's just so beautiful. I thought I would also give Geshe Michael a moment to maybe share a bit about his visit to the quarry. when him and Veronica were there in December. If you would like to share with us, it would be great while you guys think about your questions, which you can post in the chat if you like.
Hi, Marco. Hi, Hanley. Hi, Sunam. First of all, I'd like to thank Marco and all his team. I think you guys can tell from his presentation that Marco has a very exciting passion for marble and a deep knowledge about marble. And when Veronica and I visited the quarry, I think the most pleasant thing was just to listen to Marco talk about marble. And you can talk to him for 3-4 hours and you can keep learning more and more. And I just felt very happy that we have this good karma that right next to Diamond Mountain, we have such a beautiful quarry and we have such nice people to work with, and I think honest and hardworking people. And it makes me feel really, personally, I feel very happy to work with this quarry. And I feel very happy that we can get marble right from the mountain. On the other side of that mountain is Diamond Mountain. And I think it's very exciting. And like Marco said, personally, I have done 2-month retreats in marble buildings in India. And I can say that just sitting on a marble floor and meditating in a marble building and sitting on marble and meditating, I'm not a superstitious person, and I'm not, to be honest, I'm not a New Age person. But I have to say there was some very powerful reaction to the marble there. So I look forward to not just stupas, but we are planning meditation chambers. When you visit the stupa, you can stop and go into the shade and you can meditate at each stupa. And so I think it's awesome. I have questions, and I know all of you probably have questions. I'm just curious, for Marco, I have a question for you. Like, if somebody like Diamond Mountain has a large project and they say, oh, we'd like marble, what marble do you have available? Then do you feel that we should do you feel that the quarry would supply different kinds of marble for the stupas that we want to build? Or do you feel your quarry, the quarry, or you're hoping the underground quarry? Do you feel like you already know which colors and which brand of your marble you'd like to use for all of the stupas? Because in my mind, they don't all have to be the same marble. But how do you strategize that?
Exactly. One of the photos, and can I go back up to it? Let me just exit here and I'll point that out. Let me go back to the blocks here. Here we go. So for us, and I saw the master plan, and Gesh Michael, you asked a great question. There are 3 levels to the quarry. And from those 3 levels, we remove different colors, different stones. So when you visited the quarry, we spent a lot of time at the bottom of the quarry. Out of the bottom of the quarry, on the left-hand side was the caviar. So that can be used for 1 stupa.
Oh, Marco, we're not seeing your screen. You have to share your screen, I think.
Oh, I apologize.
Just share screen at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, can you see it now? Let me see. Hold on.
There you go.
There we go.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. So the bottom of the quarry has by itself 5 different stones, different levels of the quarry. The very bottom, the caviar, and we have multiple years of the caviar. in enough supply that one stupa, we will be able to extract all the blocks needed for that one stupa. The Apache, for example, we have multiple blocks already cut of the Apache. It's a different color, different stone. The Desert Rose is another one from the bottom. So all these, it depends on what level of the quarry you're at. But where we start is we go to the block yard at the bottom of the mountain. And what we do is we'll show the blocks to you, and we will look at the colors, the veining, the beauty, and every row in that block yard is identified as a different part of the quarry, and it's broken. So let's say it's the Apache. What we will do is we will put water on it just to accentuate the colors, because there will be times when once it's installed, you will be able to see if it's there's different colors to marble, and that's the beauty, whether it's dry or it's wet. But we will show both dry and the wet colors. But we have the different options. So if there are 7 stupas in the master plan, we have 7 different marbles. Actually, we have 8. So we'll have one more than you need. But you will choose either at the block yard or at the quarry which marble for the stupa. And that becomes a team effort. So everyone will be involved. But yes, that's the beauty of the marbles. And as I said, that was a great question that you asked. And we're very fortunate that this quarry yields 8 different marbles.
Cool. Anybody else have questions?
We don't have any other question in the chat. So then I would like to say thank you to Marco.
One just popped up.
Yeah.
I have another one if no one else is going to ask.
Oh, it was just Ola saying, Desert Rose for beyond all sadness.
I wondered, Marco, what is the treatment on the marble that makes it slip proof? Do you just do little, you dig furrows into it, or you just rough it up a little bit, or how do you make it as a step, or as you used in Las Vegas at the swimming pool, the 50,000 square feet or something? I'm curious what process you use to make the marble not slippery.
That's a great question. We use a process that's referred to as brushed. So you have these brushes that spin, and what they do is exactly what we just said. They rough up the surface, but they also close the pores of the marble, because all stone has pores and it has a level of porosity. So one of the first steps would be to brush the marble, and that's all done by machinery. Then the second step, we sandblast the marble, providing that rough texture. And there's actually a classification. We test it at a laboratory to make sure that it meets the minimum slip resistance for both outdoor or indoor. And so if there's water, if there's rain, you can rest assured that when you step on one of the steps or on the marble, it will provide a non-slip surface.
Cool. I think Ella has a question, you guys.
And Ella was asking how often you would have to re-rough that surface to keep it slip-proof.
The wonderful part of marble or limestone and other natural stones in this space is that and you can see this in monasteries in Europe, is that if you see the floors that are 100, 400, 600 years old, the more wear it gives that patina, and it continues, the floor will stay as a non-slip surface. So that's a great question, because that's what when you go to, as I mentioned, monasteries or places that have been around for hundreds of years, they've had stone. I've traveled to Turkey, and I've seen stone that was 2,000 years old. So you can imagine the patina. They didn't have brushing and sandblasting back then, but just because of the foot traffic and the patina that it creates, that in itself creates a non-slip surface. So there is no future maintenance to it as we know it today.
I have two more questions.
Sure.
I'm just curious, what do you use when you, in the seam between blocks of marble, if you build a meditation chamber, for example, and you have a wall and a ceiling and a back wall, what's the material? Do you use mortar between the pieces, the blocks of marble, or is there some special mortar-like substance that you guys use to seal the seams between the stone pieces?
Great question. There are different types of grouts, non-sanded and sanded. It's based on the gap between the stone.
Mhm.
We use a term, it's called butting the joints, where you bring the joints together. There you use a non-sanded grout. The non-sanded grout will keep all moisture out.
Mhm.
Now, that will need to be looked at depending on the manufacturer's recommendation I'm just going to say every few years.
Mhm.
The sanded grout is if you have a wider gap, that requires more maintenance, but it also keeps the moisture out. But with the stupas and the other, the temple, we will make sure when we manufacture, and again, this is working with the architects, that we will size the pieces to where we can butt the joints using non-sanded grout. And that, as I said, requires very little maintenance and also keeps all the moisture out.
Cool. One more question.
Sure.
I worry in the United States, in the United States, it's very popular for children to spray paint their name on something beautiful like this marble. Frankly, I mean, I think it will happen. How just thinking ahead, would it be easy to clean it off, or how would you clean it off, or something like that? Kids will spray paint their names, I'm afraid, and things like that.
Boy, it's another great question. There are products to remove the stone, but you're better be proacting in using a preventative measure. They use sealers that are called penetrating sealers that are water soluble that you can put on the stone. The sealers, some sealers that are penetrating sealers are also used as enhancers to enhance the colors.
Cool.
And those will need to be applied every couple of years, very simple with the sponge. But if someone does create some vandalism and spray paints, when there's a sealer, an atopic sealer, excuse me, a penetrating sealer, it makes it easier to remove the paints because the sealer creates that barrier between the stone and any other products that could be applied to the stone.
Cool. That's all the questions I have, you guys.
Oh, yes, that's some great questions. More questions?
Awesome. I'm not seeing any more pop up. Right. So I think we're done with that. Thank you very much, Marco. That was fantastic. I know.
Thank you.
I know that we will be having lots more conversations, and we will share as much as we can as we go along the project. Sunam, did you want to do something to close up, or can I close today?
I just want to show the actual numbers before we close.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. So can you see? You find on the Stupa update page on our website all the actual updates. Also, you see all the previous recordings of the Stupa series. And we will also upload today's one, so you can access everything here on the Stupa update project site. Then you see the actual status of the donations per stupa. And the actual number on June, as already presented last month, we have hit the 2 millions. So the number end of June, 2,090,404. Thank you so much to all generous donors.
Congratulations.
And now it's up to us to get everything ready, Marco, that we can start building the first stupa. Then we have also by country, if you want to see the details. And the rising stars of this month are Vietnam and also Malaysia. They are really speeding up, and I think Singapore has a little pressure from Malaysia. Ooh. And then you can also see the expenses. At the moment, the expenses are not too big because we are preparing, we are planning, we are discussing a lot. So I think they will rise in the next 2 months when we really go into program planning. All the permits, all the surveys are now starting. So yes, we will spend some money. So you can see all these numbers on the website. You always can check the actual status. Please go there if you want to see the actual numbers or the details by country or expenses. And then also next month for the live stream, we have the elements of a stupa explained. Hanli and we will show you a little bit more how the stupas look in the different countries. What do they have in common? What are the different elements? And then also much more details about the stupas, how we will build them, what are the exact details of really the architecture. And then in a second one later on, I think in September, we will explain more details about the spiritual meanings of each part of the stupa. So next month, we do a lot of architectural explanation, and then later on, more the spiritual side.
Okay.
Anli, take it away.
No, I just want to finish up to say thank you very much to all the translators for translating as always. I know it's late and early for everybody, so that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you to Marco for the great presentation. Thank you for Geshe Michael for being with us all the way. And thank you for Sunam also for being a great partner.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
everybody. We'll see you in a month.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And thank you, translators. I admire you for the vocabulary.
Yay.